Hello, welcome to Mr. Brand's 5th grade everyday math review. In today's video we're going to be going over lesson 4.9, which is solving problems on a coordinate grid, and it's part 2 of the lesson. For the problem we're going to start with, we've got a coordinate plane, a coordinate grid here. The x-axis, which is the horizontal axis, the number line here, is going to represent days. The vertical axis, the y-axis, this number line is going to represent the total number of apples eaten. Then as we look at our chart here, you'd see on the first day there were 2 apples eaten. On the second day, 2 more apples were eaten, so that gives us a total of 4 apples. The third day was 6, and the fourth day was 8. Now we're going to take this chart and we're going to turn it into coordinates. And the left side of the line is going to represent the x-axis, the x value, and the right side is going to represent the y-axis, and that's how we're going to get our coordinates. So the first one is going to be 1, 2, coordinates 1, 2. The second one will be 2, 4. The third will be 3, 6. And the fourth will be 4, 8. Then our next step after making the coordinates is to plot the coordinates. So the x, the first number, is how many we go to the right. So we're going to go over 1, up 2, and plot our data. Then second day we're going to go over 2, up 4, over 3, up 6, and then over 4, up 8. Now with that we're going to connect the dots. Do the best I can here to make it straight. I'm going to make a line. Now we're going to think about some questions on this. So between what 2 days was the 5th apple eaten? Between what 2 days was the 5th apple eaten? To find that, we're going to come here to the y-axis because that's the total number of apples. And we can see 5 right here. Let me grab a different color for this. So we're going to go out from 5 until we meet the line of our data. And then from there, we're going to go straight down. And we can see that the 5th apple was eaten between days 2 and 3. Okay, it was eaten between days 2 and 3. Then maybe the next question would be, how long would it take to eat 9 apples? How long would it take to eat 9 apples? So same thing, we're going to come over here to 9. We're going to follow it out till we get to that mark, and then we're going to go straight down. And it's going to be between 4 and 5 days to eat that 9th apple. Then you could say, if this pattern continued, on the 5th day, how many total apples would be? So at the end of the 5th day, how many total apples would there be? For this one, we can come out to 5. So we're starting with our days, and we'll just follow it up. And that would put us at 10. So at the end of our 5th day, it would take 10 apples. That's how we can use our line, our data, to help us answer some other questions. Okay, now let's move on to the practice. The practice is asking us to do some rounding, and it's asking us to round to the 100th. For the examples I'm going to use, we're going to round to the 10th place. So let's start with 1 and 65 hundredths. The tens place is 1 digit after the decimal. So we're going to find the place we're rounding to. Then we're going to look 1 digit to the right, and it's a 5. Remember, when we round, if it's 5 or higher, we round up. Okay. If the number is 4 or lower, then the place we're rounding to stays the same. I don't like to say round down. I like to say stays the same. So since this is a 5, this number is going to round up. So 1 6500ths would round to 1 7/10. If you'd like, you can also put a 0 here, but it's not necessary for a decimal. Our next number, let's go with, let's do 2 and 5100ths. So again, we're round to the tens place. The 5 is in the tens place. We look 1 spot to the right, which is a 1. 1 is less than 4, so it's going to stay the same. So 2 and 5100ths to the nearest tenth would be 2 and 5/10, or you could say 2 and 50/100ths. A third example, 79 and 634 thousandths. 634 thousandths. For rounding it to the nearest tenth again, we're going to look here to the tens place. Then we look at 1 digit to the right. The 3 is less than 4, so the tens place is going to stay the same, which means 79 and 634 thousandths would round to 79 and 6/10, or again we could say 600 thousandths. So 79 and 600 thousandths. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this was helpful, and if you have any questions, always make sure that you ask your teacher when you get to school. Have a great afternoon.